Good evening. You're welcome to Xtreme Movie Show. I'm your host, RDV, and gotta notice something a little different. We don't have Rob here tonight, so instead, I decided to get a mutual member of the show, a frequent guest, the Easy Eric Breen, or whatever you call him, back issue Breen these days. How's it
Good
going?
evening.
Good
Coming
evening.
to you, not Pine Hills Palace.
Yes,
I am not Rob.
I'm coming to you from the great up north. Yes, near Canada, eh? Tonight's episode is actually a really good episode. I liked it. It forwarded the plot a little bit, kind of a filler a little bit for it in certain areas, but I do love that the show does tackle real life stuff. Well, speaking of that, the way this episode starts out, we got these hunters, they're in his jeep, and then they're taking shots at these boar. They're basically wild boar hunting. And as they get to this certain spot, one of them gets out to go take a selfie. He starts kind of gagging, and he falls over. They all go out there, and they're right outside this oil drill. And as it zooms out with it, and I love how they do the shows now. Everybody has a drone, so they zoom up and they show you all the dead cattle and everything, and plus the guys are dead. Right then there, this is going to be a gas leak episode. Been waiting for that because we had the explosion last season. This one is deals with the real life topic of just gas leaks. So and then of course after this we have Tommy on his way to meet with Galeno, Andy Garcia's character, who is pretty much turned out to be the secret investment partner for his son Cooper. Cooper's supposed to be 22 years old in this episode or this series. He kind of looks older. And of course, we know that the daughter, Ainsley, is actually 29 in real life, but she's supposed to be 19. This is first starting college. Of course, we get a little hanky-panky. Angela decides she wants to give she's going along because she wants to get a house. That was the whole plot. She wanted to get a house in Fort Worth. So she said she's going to give Tommy a little bit of roadhead. And it's just kind of weird. I'm always wondering what they can do to up the scale between them, because they're fighting or they're making out. So, and of course, the sheriff sees them, turns his lights on, they go. And then it kind of feels like this episode, we also get Ariana, Cooper's ex, is kind of just shoehorned into this episode. Up to this point, were you kind of losing interest in so far in this episode, or were you still kind of glued to your seat?
No, not at all. Because you said that this was a filler. I totally disagree. I think it majorly advanced the plot because it brought Tommy and Galeno together in an entirely different setting than the last time they saw each other. And I like the way he was talking to him.
Yeah,
almost like they hadn't met, but kind of like cat and mouse, between the two. And as far as Ariana, I don't think she was shoehorned in either, because that's another major plot point is she can't lose another man that she loves to this business. So she broke it off in episode 2.
Yes.
And now she's trying to move forward in episode 3 by getting the job at the bar.
What did
I don't think that was. I think that's she's a new character, so what she does is part of the show.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate or Rob. What do you think about the being the hot Latino the mommy being hit on by the perverted fat white guy at the bar?
Nothing, because
Nothing.
Because that they were going to show, because she telegraphed it. You need to have the right temperament. What if something I can't remember what she said. She probably
I'm a Latina.
I'd cut his throat or something like that. He goes, you don't have the right temperament.
Yeah.
And it gives her a shot, and and she shows her temper. But I didn't think of that as fiery Latina temper. I just think it was, a girl on edge, overreacting to what the people that have been there for a while, probably learned to deal with and just,
So
handle. So
that was the glimpse of that Patch Cafe. We got to see the waitress we've been seeing for the past couple episodes in the past season. So chance for her to get another role on the episode. She ends, like I said, when the guy makes comments about her, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't know if it's I like watching you walk here and watch that jiggle or walking away. And finally she puts the glass and she throws it into his face, causing the smash. He's bleeding. And the guy gets hauled off. And then she thinks she's going to lose her job. But instead the guy says like, no, you actually handled it well. But this next time, let the security do it. You know,
you notice that, he gave her the hundreds that he dangled in front of her. But like I said, that wasn't an
because he permission to her sex, pretty much.
It's, I mean, that's it wasn't a shoehorn scene, but it's not worthy of analysis either, because I think what needs to be analyzed was, I said, the first meeting between Tommy and Galena,
yes,
and the second one in the club.
Yes, well, we're getting right to that, because after the scene, we're going right to Tommy drops off Angela at the realtor, and and he goes to see Fort Worth, the giant office, and you see Andy Garcia. Andy Garcia, every time I see him, he remember how John Hamm looked, kind of like very powerful, very rich, Andy Garcia has that look to him, and the guy fills out a suit perfectly. And this scene in here, like I said, between he's like, I'm just a realtor, or investment, it's like, I don't, yeah. He's like, he's like, what I do is I reinvest income, I diversify revenue. Where that revenue comes from is relevant, and and Tommy calls him a drug dealer, and I'm like, oof. Andy Garcia's response just getting so livid, so angry, and I'm just waiting something that could happen, but instead, they kind of he's like, well, you and I were in business together. He's like, no, we're not. He's like, you're in business with my 22-year-old son, legally, and I can't get involved with you because when the FBI comes sniffing around, because you're with a drug involvement, I want nothing to do with you. And he excuses himself, and like I said, that's that first introduction of them two, kind of in this office setting. And then, of course, we come to the main part of the show here. Is the basically Dale, who's basically the guy we've always loved. He's the other character. It lives in the house with them. The beer drinking, kind of the redneck, kind of the laid back blue collar guy. Him and a number of oil workers basically end up going over to fix the damage caused by a previous lightning strike. And then they have the new guy, Jarrell, who's originally was Cooper's spot originally on last season on the team. Goes on top of the oil tank, and he sees an abandoned vehicle, which was left by the hunters. And of course, he sees all the men collapse on the ground, and then the wind starts picking up, and that's when you see Dale's alarm goes off, and you're like, oh man, because this is a real life thing. This has been going on since the 70s. They've already where 9 people died, and what it is basically it's called a H2S leak, which is hydrogen sulfide, which is released in the air and is basically and this is something that real life oil companies have to deal with, because it was just like 2019. They had a lethal fog of hydrogen killed a worker and his wife in Odessa, Texas. So I was looking up on this. I was like, man, I love that they brought this in there, because if they would have just kind of ignored these kind of factors, it wouldn't feel authentic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this whole scene kind of really stood out too, compared to the later scene we're gonna get with Tommy and Galeno. But yeah. So they basically have to call in. They have to get airlift. Dale gets his gas mask suit on, and he runs up the tower to put the gas mask on Jarrell, who's basically foaming at the mouth because the wind finally went up by him. They get airlifted, and they drive out of there. And this is where it gets really interesting too, because we've been wondering where does Monty get his money from? Because last episode they're kind of questioning that too. $400 million, missing $400 million is basically gone. And they've been trying to get a hold of his personal lawyer, Alan Thomas, who's been ducking Cami's calls. And we get to see Rebecca again, Rob's favorite character, the lawyer. And basically, the way she explains it, she says that Monty would theoretically trickle down the money from a whole company to various LCCs that made up MTech's fortune. and they don't know exactly where the money was actually coming from. But it turns out Monty was taking loans from every major bank, and then they're trying to figure out how he was paying the bank when the funds don't even actually exist in the accounts. And there's no mortgage. Well, he actually took out a mortgage on their house before he died, and he left his wife with no money.
Well, I don't think he was doing anything nefarious. I think he was over leveraged when he died.
Yes.
And
that's why he had the heart problems too, probably because he was stressed out over it.
It's LLC, Limited Liability Corporation.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that because Phil is one. He's just much bigger on the show. Yeah, I like that. I like that scene, and then I liked when they're leaving. There's Galeno with his wife, and I really enjoyed that scene. How quickly Angela and his wife hit it off, and they and Cami hit it off with him.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're going to see in this season is Galeno. Like I said, even though he was quick to lose his temper, I think Galeno really does like and respect
Tommy.
And I think Tommy's going to grow to have some sort of respect for Galeno because
Galeno's going to work with him.
Yeah, because like I said, they're both businesses. I mean, one is illegal, the other one is shady as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So, how much different is it really? I mean, people get hurt and people die in both lines of work, in both industries, so to speak. And I liked how, the different dynamic of the social setting. But I said earlier I didn't want to see him in many episodes. Now I'm all right if he's in the rest of them because I liked the idea of him. Acting as a lot of his holdings are legitimate.
Yes, and unlike Dunmire on Tulsa King, this guy seems like he could be a serious guy that you don't want to mess with. Now we haven't seen anybody get whacked because of him, but he had pull to get him out the cartel hellhole last season. So
Galeno whacked one of his lieutenants for overstepping.
Yeah, that too.
Because he realized that Tommy could mean more to him financially than the guy that was
because Tommy knows the business, knows the land, and so that makes sense why he was willing to invest. Now he claims at the time he didn't know Cooper was his son when he was investing, but I'm thinking that's bullshit because he wanted to get in bed with Tony or Tommy.
I'm pretty sure that he knew.
Yeah. Before we get to the scene, the next scene coming up after the whole where they're in the office, they go to Tommy and Cami drive over to the country club where apparently Alan is having having dinner or whatever. And I love this on the way. Of course, we have Angela calls again, and Cami's in there, and she doesn't know Camel's in the truck with Tommy. And she's like, hey, he's like, hey, I'm in this bathtub. Imagine all the fucking we could do in this. And he's like, Angela, Cammy's with me. Oh, hi.
That was fun. Hi, Angela. Hey, Cammy.
So they drive over there, and we get McCabe Ultra has been the beer of this series so far. There's no argument about that. So we're in the bar. Cami spots Alan. She throws his drink in his face and wants to know where the money is. And he's kind of like, kind of giving her the runaround. Tommy is the maitre d' over here. The guy. He's like, sir, we're going to have to call the cops. He's like, no, the restaurant's upstairs. What's down here is a private club. Who gives a fuck? This is our business. And don't worry. He's like, do you guys have a Caleb Elliott? He's like, no. He's like, well, fine. Give me whatever that rich shit you guys are drinking out here.
The rich shit equivalent or whatever it was he said.
Yeah. And the guy comes back with a Miller Lite. So I was like, damn, product placement for Miller now. Are they switching up? It's a little thing I know. If I noticed, I was like, and I looked back, I was like, okay. And he uses the Miller bottle, takes a swig of it, hits Ellen over the head with it, gets in his face, and he's like, "No, Cami's the boss now." He's
Yeah,
like, "It's her."
what was it he said to the maitre d'? He goes, "This is where such and such happens, and it's about to happen now."
Because the guy's like, keep it Mexican. No, this is where I finish it. Put an end to this.
Yeah, this where things get finished. And
it's and they find out like it's about what's going on with the money, and so basically now they know where the money is or what's lack of money and how it's being funded. On their way out, they're getting ready to leave. I love this. Andy Garcia just in, he's like, hey, he's got a cigar and everything, and he's like, oh shit, and he waves him over. He's like, hey, come over. You go over. Cami's like, oh, hi, and stuff. So it's really awkward. And he's like, I love how Tommy doesn't really want to be there. He wants to leave. And then we get then Tommy's wife, Angela, who basically said, oh, I'll meet you there. Could you give him a choice? Shows up, and we also run into Galino's wife, Bella. And they also have like almost like a double date thing with Cami being the fifth wheel, and Bella tells a story how they met each other. And she gives and she tells about his origin story. He's from little town, and they kind of bond stuff. Hours go by. Angela's drunk. She's pretty much got her skirt hacked up at this point, almost like, but that's just Angela, so I can't tell. And they basically. Cami says something. She says, you know what? You guys don't know how lucky you are. There's not many people that find love and then stay in love, and love gets deeper. It's like, and then Andy Garcia's Galino looks at him, he's like, how long has your husband passed? And she names how many 7 months, or 7 weeks, and she says like, is it the person who said is like, a person who keeps track of that.
It's even rare to find someone. Who, and that's foreshadowing.
Yes, because so this at this moment here, basically they all decide they're gonna wrap up and get going. But first, so Tommy stands up and has a conversation with Galino again, and Galino says like, hey, I can help you with that little problem you have over there with the gas leak and all that stuff, pretty much. I can help you, And he's like, he's like, I know, I don't want your money. It's like, he's the only one I do like your wife. And then of course Angela's like, excuse me, and he's like, let's go find the car. Come on, leaving. And after they leave, this is a key moment here. We have Cami goes up and talks to Galino. He says like, oh, your investments? Well, I may need your money pretty much down in the future. They shake hands, and they're like, "Oh, right there and there, that he's really now rooted into Tommy's business now. There's no escape because Cami, at this point, nobody knows except for Tommy that this guy is involved with the cartel, which I don't understand why he didn't say anything. Maybe he's afraid because Cooper's involved with him, and he might reflect bad to him. I don't know.
I think because that's so prevalent in their world that it may not be advantageous for him to bring it up at this point, because to this point, there's no reason to, because they've just met, as far as Cami and Galino, they've just met in a social setting. Now, when he gets, if she tries to, get him to invest, then you might see something. But like I said, I noticed that the dynamic between Tommy and Galino was a little different from the first scene to the business setting to the social setting.
Yeah.
And I do think that I don't think their relationship is going to, it may end adversarial, but I think there's going to be a period in between where they do something together. And I think that will go south. And I'm probably basing that on, there's when they did this season on Landman.
Oh,
when his dad said, "So what's the play?" I'm assuming it has something to do with that, but
that's the other thing too, because his dad, we still haven't had the funeral yet, so I'm guessing the funeral's next episode.
Yeah, but there are two things that we haven't touched on yet. One was a very emotional scene with Cami when she breaks down.
At the very end, its final scene.
The coyotes baying was dumb, but
well, the coyotes have also been there with Landman too. With
they're kind of like but now, and I think you'll agree with me.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can spin off Samuel L. Jackson from Tulsa King,
how
about a spinoff where we just get an hour a week of Ainsley doing cheers?
Yeah.
Holy.
And she tours his other neighbor friend who's got a martini. She offers a drink. He's like, no, I'm training. But I love this because we also get the lawyer guy. I forgot his name is. The one who's always at the house too. And,
and I love you. He like always
Dale.
Time. Goes there a party going on. Dale says there a party going on or something.
There's TV on outside. And there's
TV on outside. And he was like, no, it's just because he's just like he's so put upon because like I said she's just always in the way and what are you gonna do? But we got to see Rebecca working out too. That was a new thing. I haven't really seen her, but when they called her earlier in the episode, Dale said I guess honestly, I don't know if he talked to Tommy at all yet about the whole thing, but they they did. He talked to the lawyer guy when he got back, and he said like the cleanup could take up to almost 2 years, But he said there's a lot. He said the death and disability.
It went up, but he says the thing's all that well is just it's just bubbling out. It's ready to go. We just got to fix a few things here and stuff. But he said you get a really sense of just how serious this business is, And honestly, all the shit that Dale went through, I'm just glad he didn't have to have dinner with Angela that night because they're staying over in Fort Worth. And so
as much as I enjoy Tulsa King, Landman is
way better.
Next level.
So this is Taylor Sheridan doing all the writing by himself so far. And K. Smith is the director.
But it's definitely it's one of those shows where I sometimes would let a few days pass before I got around to Tulsa King. I just watched last week's Down Cemetery Road. I don't let a whole lot of time pass, between the time that I have access to Landman and then I watch it because it's just so well done.
Right. Yeah. Landman definitely is a much better. So it's also I think it's also because it's serious with a little bit of humor because of Billy Bob Thornton because you never know what he's going to say. He's going to criticize something. Yeah. Last episode he was yelling at the radio, arguing with them about the oil price.
It's definitely. It's not. It's serious in tone, but Billy Bob Thornton is right now the two best characters on television, in my humble opinion, are Tommy Norris and Jackson Lamb. Jackson Lamb is the character Gary Oldman plays in Slow Horses.
Okay.
Where everything he says is either going to make you laugh or you just can't wait to see what he's going to say next.
Yeah.
And there, like I said, that and those, and that's why those are my two favorite shows because those two characters and the people around them are all excellent in both shows.
Yeah, like I said, this is the show, my first TV show with Demi Moore being in a TV series. So it's like, I'm sure she's probably appeared in some other shows back in the
last time she was in a series was when she was Jackie Templeton, ace reporter on General Hospital.
Nice.
There is a scene where Robert Scorpio, rest in peace, Tristan Rogers, is at this restaurant talking to Demi Moore and Bryan Cranston.
Wow.
Yes, who knew?
I gotta say though, Demi Moore for being older still looks good.
Oh yeah,
she's a babe in this. But of course, I chose this picture for the thumbnail because it reflects everything that's going on in the series right now. She's missing her husband, but she's also about to lose her company, or that and the legacy. She's trying to fight for a legacy for Monty. And Dale, and I love how when they were talking originally, her and Tommy said, "Get out of this business," and just get him donate a cancer fund or whatever, something like that. It's like this business, no one makes it out alive. It eats you up and it spits you out. So it's like, and it's, like I said, I want to go back and watch Mad Men. Do you think this is anywhere near Mad Men? I know it's one of your favorite shows.
Mad Men is superior.
Superior.
Yeah, but Mad Men is an all-time classic. Landman's only in season 2.
I know.
It doesn't aim as high as Mad Men. But for what it is, it's the best of these kind of shows. So don't ask me to say what kind of show it is. But I said, Landman. Mad Men was a, it was next level.
Melodrama?
I don't know if that's the right word for Mad
Men. It's sometimes it's a drama of some sorts, obviously.
Yeah, but it's well worth anybody's time to watch it, because they started in 1960. I think it was 1970 when it ended, because I think they did a time jump.
Yeah.
And basically it was how the world changed around a man who didn't want it to change, because, I don't know if you know how much you know about the show, but John Hamm's character, Don Draper, he's not Don Draper. When he was in Korea, his buddy Don Draper died, and he assumed his identity.
Wow.
So
I've only ever seen the ending of the show.
I mean, that becomes common knowledge fairly early in the show, but and honestly, I can't remember what his real name was. Because
does the wife know that he's not Don Draper, and just goes with it?
I'd have to watch it again.
Oh that's crazy.
Their marriage, busted up early in the show.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I think January Jones might have left the show.
I thought it might be the reason people watch it was 2 reasons. Was Christina Hendricks. No, but
she was a good character too. But John Slattery is the best reason to watch Mad Men.
He's the guy who owns the paper company.
No, he's his partner. At Sterling. God, it has been a while. I can't remember.
It is Sterling something. It's Sterling Paper Company, I think it was.
No, they're an advertising company.
Oh, advertising. Yeah.
And
I'll go to the office. That's why.
I was in Billy Morse, I think the actor's Robert Morse was a popular 60s actor.
Mm,
he played the head of the agency. It's another really good British actor played Lane Price, who was Sterling Cooper. Sterling Cooper and Price, I think, was the name of the episode, or the name of the advertising.
Yeah.
And I think Draper got on there eventually, but
all right.
Because John Slattery was Roger Sterling, and technically he was over Don Draper, but Draper was better at his job than all of them. So that's anyway.
So,
we're talking about
any predictions for the next few episodes? As far as how involved Tommy's dad's going to be involved, or he's going to be there like every once in a while?
I don't think his dad's going to get involved in anything other than just, maybe at some point he has a heart-to-heart with Tommy about what's going on. But I think over the next couple episodes, you will see Tommy's relationship with Galeno, get a little stronger before he finds out that Galeno is.
There is one thing though. There's one thing we glossed over. Cooper called his dad and he's going to drill, and he said, "Don't drill anything."
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long before Cooper decides to go against his dad's wishes? Or do you think he's going to stay on Team Dad? Because they have a good bond so far this season. And Ainsley is going to get over her hate for Cooper eventually. I hope there's something he does something to help her out, because so far he hasn't given her a reason to be a jerk.
Well, right now, they're to show the two extremes. Ainsley is her mother, and Cooper is his father.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper's already a fully mature adult, and Ainsley is
Kid.
up deep at this point.
Yeah.
Whether or not that truly changes, I don't know if it even needs to. But maybe her character will add some depth at some.
I'd like to see some character growth. Maybe it won't change.
I don't think she's ever going to be. I think a good time is going to always come first with her.
Yeah,
because she's going to marry a billionaire.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the next football player to be her boyfriend.
Well, no, yeah, she'll play around with athletes, but she's going to marry a billionaire.
Yeah. So, yep. So, just curious to see what's going to happen with everybody that's going on there. Obviously, we all know that Tommy's going to be forced working with Galeno, and because they don't have any money right now, and Galeno has money, and Cami's going to make an investment behind Tommy's back. Maybe, we don't know. Or she asked Tommy, why can't I do this? And he says, is he going to tell her? And she might just say, fuck it. We need the money, deal that now, then deal, or deal that later, then, whatever. But, yeah, something's going to happen. And, I'm excited to see what happens at the end of this season. What's going to be the cliffhanger, will the cartel be more involved? You see some more stuff, or, because right now it's up in the air as far as I know that Galeno and their relationship is gonna might be turned sour and a business deal, but everything else, I don't know if Cooper is gonna get back with his girlfriend or not, or he might meet somebody else. But
he's not gonna do better than her. Even I can't stretch. Even with all that money. I mean that. Well,
Cooper needs new teeth. Every time I look at him, his teeth look like he's got meth
Cooper
teeth.
Needs a sandwich. He needs a trip to the gym. Needs teeth.
He looks the same weight as Billy Bob Thornton does. Billy Bob Thornton's pushing 80.
Well,
or at least 70, or he's 70s, he's mid 70s, isn't he?
No, he just turned 70 last month.
Wow. But either way, Cooper looks the same weight as him, weight class, tall, skinny, and kind of like a Shaggy kind of character. But anything else?
To what you're saying about, I don't think you're going to see the low level drug stuff that we saw in season 1.
No.
Just like season 1, we saw a lot of the oil workers, the Hispanic ones, and the one that died, that Ariana's first husband. I think it's going to be more, like I said, on the other end of the scale this time, more. But so as far as I don't know if we'll ever see Andy Garcia go full gangster, because I don't know how long the planning is for the show, but it may be that he is still a viable character in season 3.
What if another cartel boss comes in and then they're forced to work together with more?
I could see somebody coming in and trying to, take out Galeno because he feels that Galeno's too, highbrow now. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But I think the show works better when the characters have a chance to stretch. And,
sure.
I hope they don't get bogged down in drugs and cartel shit.
Yeah, I don't need that. That was first season. That was okay. That heightened it, but now it's just more like the money problems, and two people who don't like each other are kind of going to work together and see how well that does. And eventually, you might have to throw in another monkey in the wrench towards the end of the season. Yeah. So, maybe the FBI sniffing around. Who knows? We'll find out. And I guess if you guys haven't already done so, please click like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Rob will be back on Sunday. I'm not sure what we're doing, but I'm thinking we might be leaning into some older black and white movies again.
I mentioned doing some Christmas movies with him. He was
yes. I've already done Holiday Affair, and that was one of them. But
well, he said it was 2021, so you guys, might be.
Oh, was it that long ago? Yeah. Okay, then I thought it was more recently. I thought we did it. I could have
Apparently,
sworn.
back, but
I could have sworn I did it with you last year or year before. I don't know. I just don't know. I have to look it up. But either Holiday Affair or I said I still haven't. I was talking around about the Lemon Drop Kid. I've never watched that before.
Yeah, I said if you do that one, you know, bite the bullet and invite Aaron on because he loved it. It didn't do it. It didn't do much for me.
Well,
In fact, I have 14 old movies on my list this year. It's not on there.
Yeah. Bell Book and Candles. That's another one I wanted to do too. Sleep with or Meet Me in St. Louis. Basically, all of the classic black and white, you know, kind of Christmas.
Meet Me in St. Louis was color.
Oh, is it color? Oh,
yes.
I thought it.
Yes, because back then musicals tended to be in color, but most other movies weren't at that time. You know, like sweeping epics like Gone with the Wind. You know, Wizard of Oz was half color, half black and white. In musicals, tended to be color. But
you know what? How about we just do Holiday Affair on Sunday? We'll just do that. Makes it easier. Less people know ahead of time. So anybody who's actually watching this, because we have 3 people. I know I'm one, and then you're one, and maybe might be. Was it?
Maybe YouTube just gives us one for free.
It might be Rob. Are they burning down my channel? But yeah, we're definitely we're gonna start getting into the Christmas season with all the black and white and color, just kind of 40s, 50s movies. Maybe going to some 60s Christmas. I don't know.
I've already watched 4 Christmas movies, not counting Trading Places, so 5 if you count that.
Nice. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. If you guys are watching, I'll have any suggestions for Christmas movies, leave a comment down below at the end of this video, and we'll look into that. All right. Until then, we'll see you on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Until then, take it easy, guys.